Harvey! I told you to wait in the dream house.
Boys, avenge me! Avenge me! Avengers!
Bazinga.
Scruffy-looking nerf herders.
Ethan Hunt contacted you?
I am good, Rooster. I'm very good.
So you are Yoi's a trainer who trains.
Gonzo the Great will ride this baby again.
Hello, and welcome to episode 53 of year 2 of the Real Serious Podcast. As always, joined by Charles and Jack. What's up, boys? How's our new year going? Off to a good start.
Living the dream, my man.
Yes.
Living the dream.
Love it.
Mm-hmm.
Love
Yeah. It's been good. Sun is rising here in Denver.
Mm-hmm.
It's actually been really warm this weekend. It was like, I told you guys, it was like 40 and sunny. I guess it's been really snowy in the Midwest. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Kind of wish there was snow. Is what it is.
I've
Yeah,
like
we've got
living in Bloomington. This is like I feel like my first like heavy Bloomington like snow. Even back home, this was the most snow we'd gotten. I want to say like my entire lifetime in Louisville,
Whoa.
which is crazy. Like in the span of like 2 or 3 days. So it was a lot, and then dealing with it up at school is just a nightmare.
Wait, yeah. Now that I think about it, Hunter, I don't think we ever got like a crazy snowstorm. We had crazy cold.
We had a few. We had maybe 2. I'm thinking of the one where we had a lot of stuff canceled, and we went over
To Nate and Tommy's.
to Nate and Tommy's.
But that wasn't like a crazy snow. It was just snowing.
Yeah, no, I guess we haven't had that one bad. But the Midwest did get hit. Jack probably has more snow than I do, but it's been between 1 and 5 degrees for the past 3 days here,
Oof.
which is not ideal. Hey, it's actually a balmy 26 today. I'm looking over at the temperature right now.
There you go.
Yeah, might have to wear some shorts today.
There you go. It's pretty big time.
Huge. But because of that weather, unfortunately, only one of us was able to see Den of Thieves because other theaters were closed. So this was a conspiracy against Den of Thieves to get it a low box office. But I helped. I made sure Den of Thieves got the respect it deserved.
Well, it's because you called up the governor.
I did. I made sure. And Gretchen Whitmer, big Den of Thieves head. She's she's all about the squad and the thievery of the den. So she's into it. So we're good. I'm good to talk about that later. But the big thing tonight, top 10 films of 2024, which very excited to dive into this. I think ours are going to be different. I think we're going to have, I think the most we're going to have in common is 4 in any of our lists. That's my hot take right now.
Okay.
I think 4.
I feel like we'll have some more similarities than 4.
Hang on, let me look at I already put my list down here. 1.
I think 3. I think 3.
What?
Do you think yeah.
Really?
I think Hunter, I think you and I will have 3. I think we'll have 3.
I think you and I will have 4.
4. Okay.
I'm looking at mine right now. I think Charlie and I will have 3, and I think you and I will have 4.
Okay.
That's a little tease for the people. That's a little tease. Before we get into that, what have we been watching this week? What do we got? I think, based on what I saw on Letterboxd, Chuck has been watching some absolute cinema this week.
I watched 2 movies, and one of them was the first Den of Thieves.
Yeah, so cinema, and then the second one was even more cinema.
Yeah, so I watched both of them yesterday. I watched the first Den of Thieves. I really thought we had another 3.5 banger on our list, and then I saw Hunter gave it a 4. So can't call it a 3.5 star banger, unfortunately.
No, it's a 4-star masterpiece.
In my eyes, it's a 3.5 star banger. Well, I didn't realize it was gonna be so sad. Like at the end, when they're in the final fight, I turned to Kipley, listeners, my roommate Kipley. I'm like, I don't know who to root for here. Like I like both teams. And then it was just kind of a bummer, but had to happen. And then I watched 2001: A Space Odyssey. This has been on my list for a very long time. And I just haven't been able to bring myself to watch it. And was sitting there last night and I was like, you know what, let's just throw it on. I have a lot of thoughts, and I have some nerd nuggets too, so I can give those unless you guys want to hear them now.
No, I want to hear them.
Okay. Well, okay. So my understanding of it before watching it was like the greatest sci-fi film of all time. Like that's what I understood. Whether people actually think that or not, I don't know. That was just like I guess the connotation it had for me. Watching it, completely get it. If anyone asks me from now on, I will probably say this is the father of sci-fi. I like when people say that Star Wars was revolutionary and like the filmmaking and effects were like the first to ever do it and ahead of its time. I agree. I think Space Odyssey did the same thing though. I think Star Wars maybe took it a step further with like the lasers, and like firing. But I thought Space Odyssey was like pretty similar to Star Wars in the effect, like in terms of effects. And so and it came out before Star Wars, right? Like
it's just 68.
Yeah.
I mean, this movie looked so real. People thought they faked the moon landing because they were like, well, 2001 looked like that. Like that's how good it is.
But yeah, I thought it was so good. I did have to look up what it meant after because like the ending is a little, it's a little goofy.
Space baby.
Yeah, but I was about
Spoilers.
it. And when I was watching it, I was like, what? You know that scene where it's the guy, I think Dave, Dr. Dave, whatever, is walking in a circle in the station.
Yeah.
But it's completely horizontal. So he's
That's
like,
sweet.
Yeah.
I was baffled at how they would have done that in 1968.
Zero gravity.
Yeah, they went to space for it.
They went to space.
Well, do you guys know how they did it?
Can I guess? And you tell me if I'm right.
Sure.
Did they build a big hamster wheel and just put the camera, like the wheel turned and he stayed in the same spot?
Yeah, they essentially built like a huge Ferris wheel.
That rocks.
And then they would like set up the camera in certain ways so that it made it look like he was moving, but it was just the Ferris wheel. Like, the scene where it's him running and you just like get a look at his butt while he's running.
Yeah.
Well, apparently they like put the camera under like the rubber mats, and then as the Ferris wheel went, the rubber mats would like slide back into place so that when it came back around, it didn't look like anything had been, touched.
Oh, that's
yeah.
true.
So that's how they did that. I also, when I was looking it up, did you guys know that in the first 25 minutes and the last 23 minutes, there's no dialogue?
Yes, I did know the beginning part.
So 50
because
minutes.
I thought that was very funny in Barbie when they copied it.
Well, yeah, when I was watching it, my roommate was like, now you understand the beginning of Barbie.
There you go.
And then I was like, oh, yeah. Like, I kind of forgot that was a thing. So, yeah, 50 minutes of it were just no dialogue. And in the premiere, guess how many people walked out because they were confused and didn't like it?
Oh, dude, I bet 60%.
Entire theater.
241 people.
Yeah.
I don't know how many people were in the premiere, but yeah, they were
crazy.
confused and they just left. And they almost pulled it from theaters, but then I guess what was it? Like the theater owners persuaded MGM to like keep it in, and then it got really popular apparently because a bunch of teenagers would go and watch it on psychedelics just for that like crazy color scene that goes on for like 10 minutes towards the end.
That rocks.
Yeah. But I thought it was great. I was kind of going back and forth, like toggling between a 5-star and a 4.5. And then I was like, honestly, I think the beginning with all the apes was a little bit long. And I think, what was the other thing? I think I liked the baby, but because I didn't understand it in the first watch, that kind of impacted my score as well. But I thought it was phenomenal.
Quite possibly the greatest looking movie of all time.
Yeah. And then you watched the actual greatest looking movie of all time, Den of Thieves. I'm actually very excited to see what you thought about Den of Thieves, Charles.
First one?
What did you?
Yeah, the first one.
I thought it was great.
Has anyone ever looked dirtier in a movie than those guys? Like they look so dirty. Like Big Nick is like the dirtiest looking dude I've ever seen.
Yeah, he's pretty gnarly. Like, and then when they say his wife says that you smell like alcohol, I could like smell through the screen.
Yeah.
You know, I was like, oh, he does smell like alcohol. You just know he reeks of cigs like at all times. Yeah, they were grimy as buggers.
I like the scene where the boyfriend comes in to pick up 50 Cent's daughter.
Yeah.
And he takes him to the garage. That's kind of like off the side. That's pretty funny.
Classic bad boys intimidating the daughter's boyfriend scene.
That's such a good movie. I love that movie so much.
There was one other parallel. I forget what it was.
Between 2001 and Den of Thieves?
Between Den of Thieves and another movie. I forget. Because I was thinking about Bad Boys when they were trying to intimidate the son. And
oh, yeah.
And I was trying to think of the other thing. Or I'm trying to think of the other thing, but I can't remember. Maybe it'll come to me.
All right, I'll go next. So I started my James Bond journey. So I started with 1962's Dr. No.
Boo!
Whoa! You're a Dr. No hater?
I do not like Dr. No.
Oh, I liked Dr. No quite a bit.
I think it's a snoozer.
I gave it 3.5 stars. I actually quite enjoyed it. I think Sean Connery might be the most charming human being alive. Also, I mean, seeing Austin Powers.
Is Sean Connery alive?
Well, at the time. He died in, I think, 2017.
Okay.
So seeing Austin Powers first and then watching this, it's a lot of the Leo pointing meme of like, oh, I get it now. And Dr. Evil would never have been as dumb as Dr. No. I mean, putting a big round like knob that's like how to destroy my machine and just turn it and it destroys the machine is one of the dumbest things ever. But I still really liked it. And I don't know. He's just I'm very in on James Bond now. And so I'm excited. I'm gonna try to do one a week. I'm gonna try to do one a week, and that should get me through the majority of the year. So I'm pretty pumped for that. Also, like, I love the way everyone dresses. I wish everyone dressed like this all the time. Like everyone is dressed up, everyone looks nice. Man, it makes you like wish we just did that. But anyway. All right.
Sweatpants.
Yeah, sweatpants. As we're all in like athleisure wear. I'm saying that. Conclave. I finally caught Conclave on Peacock. Thank you, NBC Universal. I thought I gave it 4 stars. My review was Jerry Seinfeld voice, Saints and Cardinals. What is it? Sunday in October. I actually really did like this movie. I think I'm not as big on it as some people are. Like I was in between that 3.5 and 4. But I do think that Ralph Fiennes, however you say it,
Ralph Fiennes.
Yeah, Ralph Fiennes gave the best performance of the year. Like I do think that he deserves the Oscar when that comes time for it, and I just don't think he's going to win it, unfortunately.
You obviously are forgetting Glenn Powell's Hitman.
That might come up later. That might come up later.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, it will. That's a lock.
That's a lock. Depends on where in the list though. And then Den of Thieves 2 I watched yesterday, and I will keep that one to myself for later. And then yesterday at night, I decided to after the Steelers Ravens game was clearly going a direction that was not great for the Steelers. I decided to watch the original 2000s Charlie's Angels. With an all-time cast of Cameron Diaz, Drew Barrymore, Lucy Liu, and a very good Sam Rockwell, where he's basically just playing Justin Hammer from Iron Man, but like a younger version of him. I gave this movie 2 stars, and this joins the class of movies that is not good, but is a great time to watch. And I liked it quite a bit. So I might watch the second one later on because it's just fun. It's fun. It's fun and weird in all the good ways. So yeah.
Oh.
It is very 2000s. Like it's super 2000s. It ends with them playing all the small things in like a band. So that rocks.
It's kind of dope.
Yeah.
Jack, do you have any new posters?
So I put up the Wicked, and then I had this from last year, and then I was just talking to Hunter about this before, and I got my The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, and then I have like my top 100 poster.
Oh, you're actually working through that quite a bit.
Yeah, I got that like I want to say like a year and a half ago. Caitlin got it for me, and I've just kind of like been chipping away at it. There's some I have seen on there, but then it's like I don't want to scratch them off unless I've logged it because I don't want to like be like, oh, I saw Nemo when I was like 7, but like I probably should rewatch Nemo.
You haven't seen Nemo since you were 7?
No, you know what I'm saying though. But like I watched Nemo like I don't know, but I haven't logged it on Letterboxd, so it's like I'm not gonna.
Nemo. I don't know if I've ever seen Nemo in the last maybe 5-10 years.
Yeah, but like there are some on here like Citizen Kane. Like I haven't seen that, so that's like some I'm just slowly working my way through.
The next one on my list is 12 Angry Men.
Oh, it's a good one. It's a very good one.
Very good one.
I feel like you would like the poster because it kind of gives some like structure to just like.
Yeah, 5 years ago.
Easy.
I've
actually
thought about getting a poster. So my buddy from home, I was staying at his place while I was back in Chicago, and his mom was telling me that he's got this like huge movie poster thing with like every movie from each category that you should watch. And I was like, oh, I'll go take a look. It has like 1,500 movies.
Whoa,
that's crazy.
And it's like the tiniest little check marks next to each one. I'm like, oh my God, how would you even get through this?
How is it a good looking poster?
It like you gotta kind of like get really close to read it because it's really crammed and it's also really big.
Sure.
Here, I'm gonna do not an ad, but there's a website called movieposters.com that I like to buy stuff off. It's pretty cheap for stuff. So not an ad. If it wants to be an ad, they can be an ad, but not an ad. But they have some cheap stuff.
Jack, I totally interrupted you while you were gonna go through your.
Nah, you're chilling. I appreciate because like I was like, well, the way I had my camera, it was like I just had like my 2 posters, and you could kind of see these, but I was like, I kind of like having these in the background because I feel like it's more aesthetically pleasing.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I like it.
But this week, obviously, watched the Golden Globes, and I had the Lions game on. That really wasn't much of or it was a game, but like the score, like Lions dominated. That's all that mattered.
Yeah.
But Golden Globes was fun. And then after the challengers win at the Golden Globes with best score, I rewatched Challengers just because the score is. I do really, really like the score from that movie. I think I liked it just the same. Didn't really move the needle for me necessarily, like up or down, but I still really liked it. Then I watched Den of Thieves. Absolutely electric. Like Charlie was saying, 3.5-star banger, at least in our book. Hunter, it's a 4-star masterpiece. Mm-hmm. And then this was my mistake, or I don't think it was a mistake, but I had time. I could go to the movies, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to watch one movie tonight at AMC, and then I'll go tomorrow and watch another one before the college football game. Because I was like, you know what? I'll watch one tonight, and then I'll go home and watch, Notre Dame, Penn State. So I went and saw Better Man. Absolutely loved it. Like, I mean, I just love movies with monkeys and eggs.
They got to him.
Like, that's just like
they got to him.
No. I'm telling you, it is a good movie.
They got to him.
I think most people people aren't willing to give this movie a chance. Like, you're telling me you're going to go see Kraven the Hunter, but you won't even go and sit in a theater for this. Like, I think it's just as a society is so stupid that people are clowning on this movie, and I think people should give it a shot.
People clown to clown, though.
I know that.
I would watch it. Yeah, I would.
I really like it though, and I think it's 100% better than A Complete Unknown. I would very much rather watch this than A Complete Unknown. Any day of the week. Yeah, that's about all I got on that. I could probably go on a little bit more, but it's kind of like up to. Would you go?
Oh my God, I forgot to tell you guys. Did you see anything crazy in my Letterboxd?
No.
Are you a patron now?
Go to my homepage.
Yeah, he is. Welcome to the patron. That's very exciting.
I went through for about
You gonna start to
45
change the
minutes.
movie posters?
Changing posters, yeah.
Yeah.
If you look at my lists, you'll see
Oh yeah, the Lord of the
Pixar,
Rings.
Marvel was changed, Harry Potter, Mission Impossible. I changed the Paddington poster, and I think it melts my heart. I think it's the
rocks.
cutest little thing ever. Yeah. Pretty fired up.
But I don't know. I think people need to give this movie a shot. Like this movie is just bombing at the box office right now. And it's like frustrating because people are like, oh, like I want something like that feels new and feels like somewhat original. And then they like go watch Craven the Hunter and they watch these big blockbusters and they don't support the movies that
To be
are
fair,
like
no one saw
trying to do something different. No, well, a lot more people saw Craven the Hunter than this. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm not saying, but if you compare the numbers, I mean, it's just like massively different. A lot more people saw it. And obviously because there's some intellectual property there and I understand that.
Maybe I'll go this week.
But I really do. I really did like it. And if it wasn't for Wicked, I would say this is like the best musical of the year. I think the music, for me personally, I've been listening to it a little bit after the movie. I think like not all of the music I'm sitting there. And it's not like Wicked where I'm just like, I add the entire thing and I'm like, I'm listening to it like forever. But I think there are some good songs here. And I think there's like a crazy emotional appeal that I was not expecting. Like I cried 2 times during this movie.
Whoa.
Really?
I'm dead serious. I cried 2 times during this movie with a CGI monkey. Like,
All right, I might do a double feature then between Wolfman and Better Man this week.
And I think it does a really good job of telling you who Robbie Williams is while also making it interesting because it's so easy to just have a biopic where it deals with, and there like a lot of the issues that he does deal with are very similar to other, big artists, but I think that the way that portrays it in the movie, it's entertaining, and I think it's personally
does the monkey like take away from it?
I don't think it does. I think it works.
Okay.
And it keeps me engaged. I think it does.
I think you've sold me on this.
Because there are points in the movie, it's not like it's the same monkey every time. They change his hair. They change his, like when he is younger, he has a haircut. And then when he grows up, obviously they change the hair. So he doesn't look the same once he grows up.
Yeah.
They keep changing him to look like he is Robbie Williams. And I think some of the dancing sequences are fun. I think there's like one in particular that I think you really like, Hunter. But really liked it. And I was
think I'm
frustrated. I was just frustrated that I was the only person in my theater, or up until these 2 guys pulled up, and it was just us 3. I think the guys in front of me, I couldn't tell if they liked it or they were like clowning on it the entire time, but they stayed. So
they saw it ironically and ended up loving it. They also got convinced to fall in love.
Ooh,
no, but I really like this movie. I'm so close to going and seeing it again. I have to go see Den of Thieves too. But I think I'm gonna go and see it and try and drag Caitlin to go see it with me. Yeah. And then I watched the Nikki Glaser special, Bangin'.
Oh, you do a lot of comedy specials. I'm surprised.
I do. I enjoy them. I think they're a good time. They're about an hour, so it's like if I got an hour of free time, it's like just throw it on. And I watched it with my girlfriend and her friends from her sorority. It was an experience to say the least. Yeah. Everything she says, she's just like, she's not holding back on it. So I a lot of respect. And then I finally, I got dragged into watching Mystic Pizza.
Yeah, dude. Yes. Yes.
Did you watch it?
You convinced Caitlin to watch it. So then
I
had to watch it. And it was like, I think it was like at sometimes so bad it was entertaining. Is that
yes?
Okay. Would never watch again. But
no, but it's like one of those where like I'm glad I saw this.
The Matt Damon, it's so funny because he has the most Boston accent when he pops up on screen. He's like, "Mom." It's really, really funny.
Goodwill Hunting Matt Damon.
Yeah. It's crazy. He's so young in this too. which is just ridiculous. So yeah, sorry, that went really, really long, but that's
No,
what
you're
Oh,
good.
and then I watched Creature Commandos, and I've watched 3 episodes of Severance because I am trying to.
Yes.
I've heard,
dude, Severance is so good. It's the best.
Heard that
I'm 3 episodes in. I have 5 left, so I'm hoping I can finish it before season 2 comes out, so that we can
talk about season 2. Yeah, dude.
Yes.
No, they're saying season 2 is generational TV, and that makes me so. I'm like, I've been on the Severance train for like since it came out. I'm so excited.
Okay. You know, it's like 8 hours, I think, total.
It's not like a lot. It's not like a lot to jump in on.
Yeah.
I will try to convince my roommates to throw it on every night.
Yeah, or Creature Commandos,
I feel like
which is way shorter.
It's easy to get into.
Creature Commandos you can knock out in 4 hours.
Yeah. And Creature Commandos rocks.
And Creature Commandos was quite good.
It was.
Oh, big yawn from Chuck right there. Big yawn. All right, let's get into it. Golden Globes. Anything we want to really touch on from Golden Globes? The only thing I really want to touch on was I think the host was actually great. Was that also Nikki Glaser?
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
I think she was quite good. Awesome. I'm very glad Colin Farrell got a lot of credit for what his role was. The Brutalist winning makes me annoyed. Not that it won, but that I can't see it.
Yep.
It's so frustrating. I can't see this movie. Sebastian Stan continues his post Marvel. Like, he has the best career at all of them.
I want to mention that I didn't realize that Sebastian Stan was like everyone loves him on the internet. Did you see all the TikToks? Like,
oh, people love
Sebastian Stan winning, and everyone's like, it's about time. I'm like, I didn't know that he was. I mean, I'm all about it. I love Sebastian Stan. I just didn't realize he had that much of a following.
And then I guess, sorry, I'd say the only one who could really speak to this would be Jack about the winning of Emilio Perez.
Yeah, I mean, it just sounds like the music isn't. Unfortunately, I didn't think the music was anything groundbreaking. And obviously, there's that clip of that specific scene where they're in the hospital, and that song is just going crazy viral, especially after it winning. I don't think this movie is like the worst movie you'll ever see, but I think in the context of this movie won awards, I think it just like drives people crazy from the fact that there's so many movies this year that they feel like actually gave an amazing message. And I think like Zoe Saldana is that I don't want to I mean, I don't think this is her fault. I think her performance is honestly one of the better parts of the movie. So I wasn't that upset when she won. But I think the biggest part is when you go online and you see that people are saying that this story like misrepresents the culture, which I can't necessarily attest to because I'm not in either of those two groups. But specifically looking on the internet and seeing how some people in those groups have responded, it just seems to be a very negative. But from when I watched it, I was like, I was entertained, but I just like, I don't think this was for me. I just didn't really love it. So just seeing it get all this award buzz, I would recommend just to watch it. I know it's a long movie, but I think it is going to be I guess we'll find out in 5 days if it's going to stay the same for the Oscars.
I'm of the opinion that there's always one film every year that is like a awards darling that a general audience doesn't get. And I think this is the film that year where the general audience doesn't understand why this is so good, but the awards love it. And we'll have to see, I guess, if the Oscars can kind of continue that trend, because I thought, at least going into this year, that it was either going to be Anora or The Substance. It was going to be that film. I was like, okay, it's because they got all the traction before they came out. And I was like, all right, those are the two. But then general audience seemed to really enjoy both of those. So I was like, all right, maybe not. And then I think it's this one. So it's going to be Emilia Perez. It's going to be the one where it's like no general audience really gets why it is so beloved. But But yeah, I will say that the other one I wanted to shout out was Demi Moore for The Substance. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm surprised Mikey Madison didn't win it, but Demi Moore, very, very good job.
Her speech was awesome.
Yeah, it was very, very good.
I'm like, I could wake up, like, listen to that, like, every morning. It's like, that's just, like, motivation.
Get you
It's just,
pumped.
like, it's so easy. I think it's huge, too. It's, like, the fact that this movie is kind of, like, in the horror genre and, you know, just
Yes.
a horror movie getting recognized at an award, at a massive award show. So I think that's I don't know if that'll, like, change anything moving forward. Hopefully it does, because I think, you know, there's some great performances in Nosferatu that I didn't really think got in. I don't know if I would have pushed a couple performances out for performances in Nosferatu.
I think
but I think
Nosferatu is next year, though, right? Isn't that when it qualifies?
Is it?
Came out on Christmas.
Yeah, but I do think there's like a date that it cuts out.
Then
Okay.
A Complete Unknown would be 2026.
Well, 'cause I know, like-
Nosferatu is eligible for several awards going into 2020. So yeah, it wouldn't be eligible till 2025, at least for the Oscars. I'm looking at right here.
I feel like that would that like hurt it for it's just like, because I know the Iron Claw was in the same situation where you had Zac Efron, who I feel like was the people's choice to.
Oh no, hang on, sorry. It did qualify. They just snubbed it in every category.
Yeah, I just don't get how that happens. When a movie looks that good and the performances are that good. I mean, Lily Rose Depp, I don't know how she doesn't even get a nod here, personally.
Mm-hmm.
It's a horror movie. They throw it in the horror bucket, and they're just like, I don't want to deal with it. So I think Demi Moore winning was massive. Hopefully that's a shift, or it's a slow shift in the direction of maybe horror movies getting more recognition at the awards.
I hope so. I also think if I was anyone who would be mad from the Golden Globes, if I was Wicked, I'd be pretty pissed. Just because it feels like, and I know they were very happy that they won it, but the Cinematic and Box Office Achievement Award felt like a consolation prize that they didn't win Best Musical. Because Wicked was huge. We're not going to sugarcoat that. Wicked was huge, but,
Sure.
And I'm not trying to be like a Marvel shill or anything, but Deadpool Wolverine is the highest grossing R-rated movie like of all time. And so I just don't get what qualifies for this award. Besides, I think it is becoming the award of, we didn't pick you for the big one, so we're going to give you this as like consolation prize. And that's what I'm just thinking that this became. And I think it sucks because I do think Wicked deserved it. Also, Best Original Song. Was that deserved because I liked Kiss the Sky from Wild Robot.
I like Kiss the Sky as well. I can't attest to a lot of the songs that are in that category, unfortunately. But
Challengers winning Best Score was pretty awesome.
Massive. Like the match point individual like song from the score.
A banger.
That was my most listened to song of 2024.
Whoa.
I'm not even kidding. Like driving home, driving to school, going to the grocery store, working out, like it is on 24/7. I listened to it yesterday. I mean, it's so good. I'm like watching it one more time or a few more listens, and I'm gonna buy the vinyl. So it's pretty crazy.
And I think those are the guys who are doing Tron. So if they're just as good, I think your hot take of Tron.
Yeah, they also did
box office.
They also did the score for The Social Network. If you remember that, it's very like digitalized. It feels very like fitting for the.
You know what's so funny is they're
Facebook.
9 Inch Nails. Like the band 9 Inch Nails is those guys. But like
really?
whenever they do scores, they just say that they're Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross instead of saying we're 9 Inch
funny.
Nails. All right. Is that anything else on Golden Globes? Or else move on.
That's all I got.
Honora, man. I feel like Honora just got
snubbed.
Smacked. Holy cow.
Well,
I mean, I feel like all year long we were like, Honora, Mikey Madison, this is the performance of the year. I felt like it was heading in that direction.
Silent.
Nothing. That table, like, I don't know. I feel bad. I hope that they can get something at the Oscars because I feel like it is a good movie. Well, it's not like my favorite movie.
I'm sure she'll win something.
I think that her performance is very, very good. But I think it almost hurt her that she was like gassed up so much
Sure.
I think Demi Moore is better. Like I think Demi Moore was the deserved winner in that category.
Fair.
But hey, that's just one man's opinion. So,
Sure. Yeah.
all right. Next up, PlayStation. PlayStation has some new movies they announced that are coming from their development studio. So we already knew about Days Gone, Ghost of Tsushima, and Gravity Rush, but they also announced Helldivers movie is coming, which if you haven't played Helldivers, it's very good. But also the movie already exists, and it's what was it like? This it's not Space Force. That was a TV show.
G-Force.
Yeah. What was that movie called? It's not Space Marines. I'm gonna think of it, and it's gonna really bother me that I couldn't think of it right now. Oh, Starship Troopers. Yeah, it's Starship Troopers. That already exists. And then Horizon Zero Dawn movie, which some people say is like the biggest industry plant in gaming that people actually like this game. I like it. I'm not like the biggest fan, but I don't know. I'm like a PlayStation guy, so that's why I like it. And then the last one they announced was an Uncharted sequel, which apparently is coming with Tom Holland.
The Uncharted movie?
Yeah, super Uncharted. Yeah. We got to save the day and get the treasure. I keep seeing that trailer for the Flight Risk. Oh my God. Okay, so yesterday, Den of Thieves, trailer comes on for Flight Risk. It was like, this is the movie that you don't want to just watch. You have to experience. And I was like, no, this is Flight Risk. I'm not going to just I'm not going to go out of my way to experience Flight Risk. Just, wow, clowns. But Chuck, I think Chuck's the most excited for this slate I just listed because as a big Gran Turismo guy, he's a big Sony Pictures universe guy.
That movie was so buns.
Oh my God.
That movie, I was so fired up for. It wasn't actually that bad, but I was very fired up for it, and I was a little disappointed. I actually saw it with Hunter in the Bloomington theater that closed. I think it was
the one by Hobby Lobby.
I think it was the last one that we saw there.
Yeah.
Did I see Black Adam with you guys? I saw
no,
Black Adam with you, Hunter.
I saw Black Adam alone.
Oh.
Because no one wanted to go see Black Adam with me, and I had to borrow Chloe's car from next door to go to Black Adam. And then I bought the bucket while I was there and came back, and I was like, yep, saw Black Adam. And I was sitting there in the theater with like 10 people when the Superman post-credit scene happened, and one guy in the back was like, so I feel bad for that guy because he never got his dream to come true.
Oh, that's too good. That was the first movie I saw on my AMC A-list pass.
It's Black Adam?
No, Gran Turismo.
Oh. I wish, okay, big complaint for AMC A-list. This is me complaining as an A-lister. I wish at the end of the year, when they sent you like your A-list wrapped thing, that they sent you digital like tickets that you could print out. Because I would love to have like actual tickets that had the movies I saw throughout the year. I thought that'd been sick. And I feel like it would be really easy for them to do, and they just didn't. So this is my complaint to AMC.
Maybe they'll add the A-list plus for the low cost of $35 a month instead of $20.
Yeah, if you get A-list plus, it also gives you Quibi and something else, some other streaming service that no one else uses. Yeah. All right, Holes. Did we like Holes, the 2003 movie Holes with Shia LaBeouf?
Is the sky blue?
Well, big guy. Are you ready for more Holes? Because Holes TV show is coming to Disney Plus. Reimagining the story with a female lead. So they're doing a gender bent Holes reboot TV show.
Okay.
I hope they get John Voight back. I hope they get John Voight back and have him be his character from
Nothing Appropriate.
From Megalopolis. They just have that guy. Just have John Voight be Megalopolis again. That cast actually was pretty great. Am I remembering right? Did he steal Derek Jeter's shoes? Wasn't that like a plot point in the movie?
He stole I don't think it was Derek Jeter. He stole a baseball player's shoes.
Oh, okay.
No. So Zero stole the shoes.
Yeah.
And then chucked them. And it landed on
because he had bad luck.
Stanley Yelnats. Yeah.
Because he had bad luck.
Yeah. Why did he break that bad luck though? Because he found the the water.
He found the water because he broke the curse. He broke the curse. That's right. Remember, they cursed his family.
Mm-hmm. Oh, because he led Zero up to the water, right? Okay.
Yeah. Okay,
Cool.
what do you think is a better movie name for Shia LaBeouf? Stanley Yelnats or Sam Witwicky?
I think
Stanley
Stan
Yelnats is
pretty
great.
good.
I just always remember them yelling Sam Witwicky all the time.
Stanley Yelnats just unlocks like just elementary school. Just
Yeah.
Goated.
All right, next piece of news about Tom Holland. So congratulations to Tom Holland. Apparently he is engaged to Zendaya. Shout out our boy. Good job. Also there's a very funny go ahead.
Over under.
No, don't do this. Forever.
Come on, man.
Forever. My vote is forever. True love.
No. I'm not saying. I'm saying about movies because he said he wants to step off the face of the planet once he has kids. So over under 2.5 years before we just never hear from him again because he's
over because
over?
because dude, Zendaya's killing it right now. So I think that she's gonna keep going for a while.
Yeah.
He didn't mean like divorce. I don't think they'll get.
I was worried that you were about to say because they celebrities. Also, a very funny Twitter interaction I saw was that I guess some news about the engagement came from Tom Holland's dad's Patreon, and all of the comments underneath it were like, "Who is out there subscribing to Tom Holland's dad's Patreon?" And that just makes you realize there's multiple worlds out there that we just have nothing to do with and no idea that it exists. Which I think that we should all subscribe to Tom Holland's dad's Patreon and try to get him on the podcast. But the news about Tom Holland is he is starring in a John Grisham legal thriller, The Partner, for Universal, which apparently is a movie about. It doesn't tell me at all what it's about, so that's awesome. But yeah, I'm actually pretty excited about this because I really love The Firm with Tom Cruise, and if it's anywhere close to The Firm, The Partner sounds pretty awesome. So
I'll take it.
I think Tom Holland, something clicked in his head where like, I need to catch up to Timothy because I've been picking
Timothée.
So after Uncharted 2, he'll really kick it up here with some high class cinema. Because he's got Spider-Man 4, he's got the Christopher Nolan, The Odyssey, and now this. Like that's pretty awesome. Like that's a pretty good little run there. Of movies.
Yeah.
And I
the
think he is
Avengers movies.
Yeah, I think he has to be
Unless they kill him off
there. That'd be very funny. Well, not
and
funny,
they bring
but,
on
like,
Miles
very
Morales. Shamik Moore is just actually playing Miles
Oh, dude,
Morales.
Shamik Moore was angry when he saw that they were engaged. He's like, "Why not me?" Oh yeah, that's right. He's also in American Speed with Austin Butler. So yeah, he's got some good ones coming. All
Congrats,
right,
Tom.
Good job, Tom. All right, sad news for us as a podcast. Dune 2 getting a lot of hate from the awards season. I think that this is going to not win a single Oscar at all. That's my take.
That's weird because if I remember correctly, Lord of the Rings won like 17.
Lord of the Rings, we've said it before, Lord of the Rings played in a time when they were playing against janitors. All right. Dune 2's got to play a lot more.
It's a different league.
It's a different league, all right.
It's modernized.
Yeah.
No, but that is a bummer. Especially because I told someone in the office the over-under is 4 Oscars.
Well, so it's already said. It's crazy you're giving over-unders in the office. Hans Zimmer's disqualified from winning.
Why?
The Academy said so. Denis Villeneuve wasn't even nominated for Best Director at the Golden Globes.
That's so dumb.
We didn't have really any acting categories.
The Hans Zimmer score is, I believe, the Academy has a they have like criteria somewhere saying that if it's less than 60% or over 60% like unoriginal or something like that, it doesn't qualify. So because it is Dune 2, it doesn't qualify because a lot of the score consists of a lot of the same sounds and rhythms, I guess, from the first one. I think it might be like 60. I want to say it is 60.
Oh, I can hear the typing. I can
Yeah,
hear him
click,
going
click,
to
click,
work.
click, click, click.
Sorry.
Yeah, like they're
Going
not
to
even
work.
anticipating that Denis Villeneuve is nominated for Best Director. No
That's such
Best
a shame.
Actor,
That's pretty
no
dumb.
actress. Yeah.
It's just these big blockbuster films. It's like movies need them to stay alive. But when it comes time for award season to give them their flowers for making something that was a blockbuster, but also well made, heartfelt, then there's just no award there. So it's like, what's the incentive if you're?
Yeah, see, that's where it's
obviously,
hard too. No, I'm with you because it's like the complaint is that these blockbusters are not to the quality that they should be. And then when one comes around that is to the quality it should be, it's just like snubbed out everything. And then listen, I'm not trying to hate on Wicked again, but Wicked's getting a lot of awards love. And I'm just gonna be honest, it's not to the same quality as Dune. Like from a cinematic standpoint, from a visual standpoint, like I think it's a great movie, but it's not to that quality, I think, of a cinematic achievement as Dune is, and it's getting a lot more love.
Yeah.
So
the musical add-on to it, I think and also the fact that it's a Broadway adaptation, I think kind of boosts that for them just because there's been so many bad Broadway adaptations. And I think that this is like the adaptation, and the fact that it landed, I think it makes sense for them to recognize that. But it's just so frustrating. Like, I don't want them to recognize Deadpool and Wolverine, like, in the nicest way possible. But like, we got some really beautiful movies, and I think this even goes on to like the Furiosa train. Like, Furiosa was a great movie this year, and it looked great. It was well acted. It was well directed, and I'm not saying it needs to get a ton of awards love, but I feel like a nod in some direction to say, hey, George Miller, we appreciate
that was pretty good
for cinema. You know? Yeah. Instead, they're just like, wait, what? You're keeping movies alive? Oh, yeah. We don't care. I mean, obviously, Furiosa didn't. But yeah, I don't know. I wish blockbusters got a little bit more love, especially when they're well done.
I feel like Furiosa gets a shout out every week.
Well, hey, when we do our Oscars show, we'll give some awards love.
Yes.
All right, big news for Chuck. No, big news for Jack. Coleman Domingo in The Running Man. This is Jack and I doing the Predator hand grab together two worlds. Glenn Powell, Coleman Domingo. So yeah, he's going to be the game show host in Edgar Wright's The Running Man. Which very pumped for that. That just sounds awesome.
Sing Anthony Ramos.
I know, dude. I want to say Sing Sing too. It's hard. Dude, Anthony Ramos in there would be great. Full circle moment for all of us. All right. Second to last piece of news: Shrek 5 delayed for Christmas 2026 because Minions 3 moved up to July. Listen. I've waited long enough for Shrek 5. I'll wait a couple extra months. That's my opinion on it. If I have to wait a couple extra months for something, I'm okay with that.
I thought it was the other way around. I thought it was
sentence.
I thought Shrek 5 moved because they wanted to have it like almost precisely on an anniversary, and then
we'll just miss franchise major anniversary. Let's see what this says.
We live in a world where Shrek 5 is getting moved because Minions 3 is coming out.
No, I want to say Shrek 5 moved first because they wanted to have it line up closer with their franchise.
No, so it was. So it was going to be on the 25th anniversary of the franchise, which is July 2026.
Gotcha.
But because it moved, now it's a few months off. Oh no. Ready for this? So Christmas 2026 is going to have not only maybe Dune 3, not only Shrek 5, but also Jumanji 4. Let's go. Busy month for us in the pod.
I'm tired of all these numbers.
Cinema, baby. Cinema.
Jumanji 4. Shrek 5.
God. Hey, I'll be set for Jumanji 4. I'm ready. All right, let's talk about Batman a little bit since we never talk about Batman, obviously. Anthony Muschietti, who directed The Flash, was on a podcast, I guess, talking about the failure of The Flash, and he blamed it on The Flash not being a known character. And look, pal, I'm sorry, but you're wrong. The Flash, sure, maybe not known very much, but you also had Michael Keaton's Batman in that movie. You had connections to Man of Steel. Batman at the time was in it. Wonder Woman was in it. Aquaman was in it. No one just cared about your movie. I'm sorry. Like, it sucks. Oh. We have an appearance from Batman on the pod. My God. He's muted. He doesn't know he's muted. That's a shame. That rocks. So, just to kind of preface it with that, now he was also talking about his upcoming Brave and the Bold, because he is directing Brave and the Bold for DC Studios. And allegedly, Anthony Muschietti has not talked to James Gunn about it since prior to him filming Superman, which my take is the Brave and the Bold is not happening. The Brave and the Bold is not happening, and I will be vindicated in my fact that we're going to get the Matt Reeves Batman in this universe, because people were hating on me online this week, and they're wrong. I'm right, and it's going to work.
People were lighting you up.
Dude, I don't get what the complaint is. Why would you not want him in there? I get why Jack doesn't, because Jack said it. But like, if you want the DC universe to succeed, why not take probably the most popular version of Batman we've had in the last since Christian Bale, and be like, you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna put him right here, where he belongs.
No, I'm with you.
I think it was funny online because it's like he would go and like it was great because Hunter was just like, I think Robert Pattinson will be the Batman. And then he proceeds to tell his theory, which is still connected, but like it doesn't have to be, you know?
Yeah.
And then people are just like,
also
appreciate the comment, Seth.
Yeah. Also, what happened? Hang on. What happened to imagination? Because I'm sorry. Listen, my theory was basically that people see Batman differently. I'm not saying Batman is using like fear toxin or something to like appear differently, but I think we all saw the original Spider-Man movie, where even that movie has the clips of people talking in the streets of like, oh yeah, I saw him, he has 5 legs, or like, I saw him, he has 6 arms.
Yeah.
Like, people see things differently, and I think it'd be cool if every time that someone saw Batman, because of their fear of him, or like because of the way they experienced him, they remember him differently.
We're talking about
no one has any. Yes, no one has any imagination anymore. Everyone has to be so literal. I need to have a 14-page paper about how this worked.
And we're talking about a universe that has a walking skeleton that has atomic powers. Like, come on.
God. See, this is okay. As much as I love DC, as much as I love DC. Like, I want DC to be like the biggest. I love Marvel, but DC is like, I think, my one besides Spider-Man and Daredevil. This is why it's so hard to be a DC fan, because fans are very annoying. And it's not just like the Snyder people, which probably get hate for saying that, but like DC fans are so particular. And if it's off by even like the smallest minutia, they're going to be like, actually, in Detective Comics 55, this is incorrect. It's like, dude, just be happy it's happening. God.
No, I think comic book fans are just critical, because even in Marvel, people are starting to be like, this doesn't happen in the comics. And it's just like, bruh, I'm kind of with Hunter. Just appreciate that there's a movie about it.
Yeah. And look, I mean, it may not be exactly what you want, but let's think back here a second to even like Marvel of it all. These characters evolve over time. They're allowed to change. Like, the Iron Man we saw in 2008 is not the same Iron Man that we got in Endgame. And they became different characters. Like, they're allowed to change. They don't have to be the final version of what you want, like, immediately. I mean, it took Tom Holland's Spider-Man 3 movies to become Spider-Man that we know. Like, just let things happen. Drive me nuts. I'm gonna give me him. I'm gonna fight him. I'm gonna fight them all. I'm gonna go
Seth,
Batman on him.
Bring him Seth.
Yeah. Yeah. God.
What's next?
But you know what? Hey, people are passionate. That's all I care about. But that's my take. Is that it's not happening. All right, trailers. On to trailers. Let's start with a 2025 comedy, Kind of Pregnant, coming to I think this is coming to Netflix in February. Starring Amy Schumer.
This made me want to puke.
Anyone excited about this?
This made me want to actively throw up.
My take is that it's not as bad as her other trailers.
It looks so bad.
I didn't say that didn't. I'm just saying I've seen her other stuff, and this looks less bad than her other things.
Who keeps Never mind.
I think they did the joke 3 times already of like her falling. This is gonna stink, and I feel like one of us has to at least hate watch this, and my vote is Charles.
I'll go.
I'll watch it. Oh,
Oh,
Jack. Okay, fine.
Jack. All right. Yeah. Oh yeah. Whoa. All right. Yeah. You do you.
I have zero interest in this movie. Zero. I think this would be better off like a 30.
You're gonna watch it.
I'm gonna watch
a 15-minute skit on these like talk shows where they go down on the street and they're like, "Oh my gosh, she's pregnant. How do you feel?" You know, and I feel like it'd be better that way. This does not need to be 90 minutes plus. Yeah.
Let's see. I want to see what this
No
director
thanks.
also directed.
In the nicest way possible.
Yeah. I watched
it
this morning right when I woke up, and I actually stopped it halfway through, and I was like, I'm not watching. I know what I'm getting out of this, and it's nothing. It's nothing good.
No. I can't start my morning like this.
Go make coffee.
Was Amy Schumer funny at a point? Like, did she just like I guess there was like the whole Schumer show, right? Like for a long time inside Amy Schumer. I never saw that. Like, was that? I wonder if that was good.
I've only seen.
I like Trainwreck.
I've only seen Amy Schumer get hate from pretty much everyone. It's kind of like a Rachel Zegler thing, except I kind of get it with this one. But
I like Trainwreck. I will say that.
I don't really like when celebrities get overhated. Like I've expressed that I'm not a huge fan that Rachel Zegler gets hate for no reason. This may be the only instance where I'm all in on the hate.
Yeah.
And Anthony Ramos. But I'm in the minority for that one, which is fine. Yeah. Amy Schumer, I completely get.
Never forget, Amy Schumer was supposed to be Barbie.
I'll join in the crowd, yelling, "Get her off the stage!"
It's like the Squidward puts his arm out. Hey, but listen, I will say, this was not the worst trailer that we had to watch for this week.
Oh,
because
yeah.
In the Lost Lands, starring Dave Bautista, Mila Jovovich, and directed by Mila Jovovich's husband, Paul W.S. Anderson, which, listen, dude, you got to change your name. That's too confusing.
Before we move on, there was one comment on YouTube, and this reminds me in the Lost Lands, because I saw a comment on the Kind of Pregnant, I think that's what it's called.
Yeah.
There was a comment, it was like, Amy Schumer probably doesn't have to wear a pregnant like pad to.
Oh my god!
It's like, gee, oh my god!
Can't catch a break.
Brutal.
Dude, this Paul W.S. Anderson guy annoys me because his name is Paul W.S. Anderson. So you say it, and it sounds like Wes Anderson. And
yeah,
they could not be farther off. Also, this guy's track record of movies is just incredible. Like, so he's married to Mila Jovovich, and she stars in all of his movies. But looking at some of the stuff he's directed, Event Horizon, all of the Resident Evil movies, pretty much, Alien versus Predator, Monster Hunter, which came out during COVID and like made like $6, Death Race. So now he's making this with Dave Bautista, and yikes, to say the least. Yikes.
I feel like this is Mom, we have Mad Max or Son, we have Mad Max at home.
Yeah.
This is the vibes I'm getting. I'm like wasteland to the max, but the CGI looks
real bad.
Interesting to say the least.
Yeah, a comment on this one was this movie just looks like a green screen. Which I agree with.
I feel like Dave Bautista was picking some good projects. So I don't know what this is.
He was in Glass Onion. He was in that
Dune Part 2, Boy and the Heron, Knock at the Cabin, which was great.
What was the one about like the assassin? Came out late last year.
The Killer's Game?
Yeah. I didn't see it.
Army of Thieves I thought was good. Or not Army of Thieves, sorry. What was the other one where there was like the zombies? Army of the Dead. I thought Army of the Dead was pretty decent. Yeah, this does not look great, but I may have to see it just to see it. This feels like one I'll be alone in the theater to see.
You'll see this one for the pod.
Yeah,
I'll take a third one that
from the mind of George R.R. Martin. Wow. All right. That's in the Lost Lands. This feels like I don't know, insider trading, the movie. Like somehow they're money laundering on that. All right, and the last movie. Oh no, we had 2 more movies and then 2 shows. So, A Working Man, this year's Beekeeper, starring Jason Statham playing Jason Statham, directed by David Ayer, who's still. Dude, it's the funniest thing whenever a David Ayer trailer comes out, and it's always like from the director of the Suicide Squad, and then his most recent thing. It's like, why would you not put Fury above the Suicide Squad as like your I'm hyping you up thing? But this looked great. I'm so in on this. Like, this looks so good.
Yep, I'm in.
I'm fully, dude. This 3.5 star banger on deck. Like, I'm ready.
Yeah.
I cannot wait.
Oh, I'm so in.
See,
I'm
before I watched The Beekeeper, I was like, this is something I would never watch.
Mm-hmm.
But now I feel like it's just like this running joke that it's like these movies are just so action packed in the craziest ways possible. Yeah. I'm in.
Just a damn good time.
Dude, he just is the same guy in all these. Like, okay, going back to 2013. So Parker, Redemption, Homefront, Wildcard, Mechanic Resurrection, The Meg, Wrath of Man, Operation Fortune, The Meg 2, Expendables, The Beekeeper, and then obviously Fast and Furious. He's just the same guy in all of them, and it rocks every time.
Are you a cop? You wish I was.
Yeah, it's like, who are you? And then it's like, oh, Working Man. Which is the same thing that in Beekeeper. It's like, who is he? He's a beekeeper. Oh, it's so good. It's so good, dude. I cannot wait. And then the last movie, which I think it looks the best, is Companion. So actually give us a little more insight on Companion, that she's like an AI robot. I'm actually very excited for this. This feels like, remember the movie a couple of years ago with actually, I'm trying to think. I think it was Daisy Edgar Jones, where it was about the guy who like eats people.
Can't say I saw that one.
Cannibal.
Nope, didn't see that one.
Hang on, I'm gonna find it. Fresh. It was Fresh.
Oh,
Fresh.
that's Sebastian Stan, right?
Yeah. Was it also Daisy Edgar Jones? Is she in that?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, okay. So see, someone saw that. It was me. Yeah, it is. So it's Sebastian. This feels like this year's that, and I'm in on it. So I'm actually pretty hyped for Companion. Comes out the end of this month.
I'm excited. That's like, I think wait, what? So you said end of this month?
Yes. It says January 31st.
I will not be seeing that. A little too scary for me, but
you'll have to go see Dogman then and give us a report on that, because it's the same weekend.
Sure, I'll see Dogman if you guys want to see Companion. That's fine.
All right. Are you too nervous for flight risks since you have to experience it?
What?
That's what they said in the trailer. You have to experience flight risk. That's next week or 2 weeks from now.
Oh.
I'm hyped for flight risk.
Sorry, I'm trying to go back to see when we watched ISS because I think it might have been exactly a year ago.
Oh no. But yeah, no, this looked pretty decent. So I'm actually pretty excited for Companion. I like the fact that Jack Quaid is not afraid to play different roles. And I respect that.
Oddly enough, it just still feels like a role he would play, though.
Yeah, like it's all very Jack Quaid-esque, but like,
yeah.
He's a very good Superman in My Adventures Superman. He's got a very good Superman voice. So.
Oh my God! Last year was our 1-year anniversary of The Beekeeper.
From this week.
Yesterday was our 1-year anniversary.
So Den of Thieves took the Beekeeper spot this year. That's exciting.
And ISS was January 20th.
Okay, so that'd be next. So next week, the Wolfman hopefully is not on par with ISS.
I gave ISS 3 stars.
Dude, what?
No, I gave it 2.
Okay. Top 10 of the year, ISS number 1. And then Reacher season 3. Listen, are you guys Reacher guys?
I haven't seen it.
Not.
All right.
I've seen the Tom Cruise one.
So this show is so awesome. It is not great, but it is like the definition of like dad standing behind the couch and then finally sits down kind of show. Like he is just the coolest dude. He's so jacked.
He's a big boy.
The fact that there's like a bigger version of him now is just the greatest thing. I hope that if it's not, I said this a couple weeks ago, but if it's not Robert Pattinson, this is Batman. This is my Batman. I just want a comically large man to be Batman, and I want this guy. So I'm hyped for season 3. This ultimate dad show. It's like the ultimate like old guy sitting around a table. Like, have you seen Reacher? So yeah, very excited for Reacher. But then, last but certainly not least, The Last of Us season 2.
We're back.
Oh boy, we're back. Oh boy, I'm excited.
We're so back.
I'm very nervous for this because obviously The Last of Us Part 2 game got quite a bit of hate. And no spoilers for that, but if you know, you know. But I'm just very excited for this show. I think the first season is almost perfect television, and the second season looks quite good as well. So, ready. So yeah,
I haven't seen that one.
You should. Hey, you got time?
You should watch it. It's pretty good.
Have
you played the video game, Jack? I hadn't.
I was more of a sports guy when it came to gaming.
Cool guy alert.
Yeah, sorry. Let me go play my Mario Odyssey and Last of Us like a loser.
No, but it is good, Jack.
Yeah, I've watched the first episode. I think first 2 episodes, and then I just kind of dropped it.
All right, and then that's it for news. So let's first go into Creature Commandos. Talk about it as a whole season. Chuck, if you want to mute, you can. We'll probably talk some spoilers. If you're not going to see it, then we'll just tell you about it anyway.
I probably won't see it.
All right, so Creature Commandos. I thought this really stuck the landing. I was very worried about this sticking the landing, but I do think it did. I only had one real complaint, and that was the lack of Rick Flag Sr. in the last couple episodes. But overall, I thought it was quite good.
I agree. I concur with your opinion. I think it did land. I don't think it landed as perfectly for me as some other people. I think it was wrapped up a little too quickly. I feel like having Nina's storyline along with the conclusion of the entire, I think it fit well, especially for her spoilers, obviously, like for her death in the scene where she's about to kill the princess. I think those stories, like, it makes the episode a lot more emotional, you know, as to where I think if you have her story in a previous episode and then you have this, it's still tragic, but it's not as tragic as having them like 3 minutes apart.
Yes.
And then the scene where the bride kind of spits off, oh yeah, I knew this, and this, and then just pops the princess, which I like that. I thought, you know, she was great. I like the bride, but I think it just wrapped up a little bit too quick for me. Personally.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you. I think it did wrap with a nice little bow at the end. But also I do think I kind of think it was necessary because I feel like the story kind of, I think when we get to the point where we're just following the characters, the story kind of just went away from us a little bit of like what we were following. And I also think that due to the lack of Rick Flag Sr. and kind of the other people, we didn't get a whole lot of info on, was it really faked? Was it not faked? Like, what was the extent of what they're... And also, is Clayface dead now? Like, how's that movie supposed to happen if it's in this universe? Like, is it going to be a new Clayface? Like, is it a prequel? Like, once again, we'll have to wait and see. But, yeah, I mean, I think it was a very solid show that I'm excited for season 2. G.I. Robot should have stayed dead, though. That's my take.
No. Yeah.
I like gangly little G.I. Robot. I don't like jacked G.I. Robot.
Oh my gosh. Like, Hulkbuster G.I. Robot is going to be electric. I cannot wait.
But
then also keeping Frankenstein alive. Big fan.
Good call. I was very worried. I was like, oh, okay, that's how we're gonna wrap up Frankenstein. And then the post-credit scene was pretty decent.
He's hilarious. David Harbour is, I really love his character. I mean, the entire show, he's funny, and I think he's a big part of the comedic relief. I think there's a lot. I mean, they're all funny in their own types of ways, but I think he's the funniest character.
I do think, though, in the next season, they got to go after someone a little bigger.
Yeah, of course. I think this was a good introduction. I think it
Mhm.
kind of it shows us these characters while also like introducing us to their backgrounds in a fun and entertaining way. So I was honestly really happy to find out that they're making more seasons of this because I didn't know that they were going to continue, and I didn't know they got what is it, renewed.
Yeah. For a
So
second season.
I was pretty happy when they were kind of hinting at another season. But yeah, really pumped for another season of the show.
I'm with you. All right, that's Creature Commandos. The first thing in the DCU is complete. Now, Den of Thieves 2. So, yeah, if you want to pop them off for spoilers.
Sorry, I'm popping.
No,
mine
you're
now.
good. I'll give you a wave when I'm done talking about it. Charles, same with you.
Fantastic.
All right, Den of Thieves 2. So after 7 years from the first one, now we're back to Den of Thieves 2. I think that this was solid. I don't think it was to the level of the first one. I gave this 3 stars. I think what this was really missing was the crew aspect. The first set of Thieves having 2 separate crews, I think worked super, super well. And we were missing that from this movie. And I think it did hurt it quite a bit. I do like the new setting. I like the new heist. I just think that everything was kind of like a 70% of the first one. And while I think Gerard Butler is very strong here. I think this is one of his better roles. And O'Shea Jackson Jr. is quite good as well. I think you really felt the missing of Pablo Schreiber. Just the physicality of him. I think that was such a great character that you really missed out on having him around. And the ending was fine. I think that it was kind of, one of those things where it was pretty obvious it was going to happen, but I still don't think it stuck the landing. And on top of that, I do think that it could have been better if, I don't know, I think that they were trying to do a little bit too much here at the end. I still think it's good. I still am excited for a third one. I like this world. I like these characters. I like how dirty Gerard Butler looks all the time. Like he's just the grossest looking dude in these movies. I just really think that they need to kind of go back to a little more back to 1 than going back to 2 when they make a third one. I mean, there's not a whole lot to talk about with this too, unfortunately, just because look, it's a very basic, run of the mill action action thriller. That's solid. It's nothing in the world. It's nothing going to set the world on fire. I think the first one was better by a margin. But Den of Thieves 2 is still very good for what it is. And I think I appreciate it more is the whole package of Den. If this was just a standalone movie, I think I'd be a little more disappointed in it than since it's being a sequel to Den of Thieves 1. We're not going to look at it as a package deal. I think it's pretty decent as a package deal. As it's standalone, it's just fine. So that's kind of my opinion on that. But I do think that these characters are solid enough to return for another one. And I am excited to kind of see where this story continues to go, because I do think that now that the ending choice was made by Gerard Butler, that we can really make a distinction going into number 3, where maybe, O'Shea Jackson Jr. is coming after Gerard Butler, which I think is pretty interesting. So yeah, that's all I got there for Den of Thieves 2. Waving the back. Oh, coming back. Here we go. Good radio there. All right, what's up, boys? We're back. 2024 rankings time. Oh, breaking news. Oh, breaking news. Multi-year agreement reached between the Patriots and Mike Vrabel to become head coach. So Patriots have found their guy.
Incoming 5-win season.
Yeah. All right, let's do favorite films of 2024. All right. Let's preface this by saying this is our favorite film, so not necessarily best. So I think that's a very important distinction, because obviously there's some things, at least definitely on my list, that I saw that were better than what's on my list, but I preferred something over this. And yeah, I mean, I guess anything else besides that you guys have to note before we start? We'll do honorable mentions at the end.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure we'll talk about Ricky Stenicki a little bit later as well. So I don't want to give that an honorable mention right now. But
Just did.
yeah, I just did, I guess. All right. Let's start. Well, I've it on my screen, Jack, myself, and then Charles. So why don't we start with number 10 for Jack?
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the moment we've all been waiting for. At number 10, I have Better Man, the recent biopic.
No way.
Robbie Williams. Yes.
Wow.
So I really did enjoy this movie. Made me emotional. I think it's visually appealing to look at. I think the storyline's well done. I think if you don't really get that emotion part, I think you might not enjoy it as much. But I think even if you watch this movie and you don't connect with it emotionally, I think you can say, you know what, they took some steps here to try and do something different. And I think most people can appreciate that. But personally, I loved it. I liked it so much. I'm questioning of getting a poster of it in my room. I'm not even joking.
Oh my god! All right, yeah, I'm
really liked it
this week.
Really liked it, and I don't want to hype it up too much for you because, like, I don't want you to think this is like the greatest movie ever.
No,
but
listen, I'm actually very excited now. Yeah, I already got my ticket. I did it while we were talking. I got it for Thursday. So
yes, I've done my job.
Better Man. That's pretty great. I always think of whenever I hear Better Man, though, I think of in the Christmas Carol when he's like, "And you'll know me better, man." So I was really like that.
Charlie, you're muted.
Yeah. God. He had some really insightful stuff he was saying too.
Yeah.
All right.
Number
10. I have The Substance. Demi Moore and Margaret Qualley. I think this movie is so good. Now it's not. I think it's number like 18 on my list for the year, like of a ranking wise. But I haven't stopped thinking about it since I saw it. And like, I'm not a big like body horror kind of person, but this just like scratched an itch that I had, and I really, really enjoyed it. I think the story is solid. I think, as I said earlier with the Golden Globes, Demi Moore, really well deserved, but also Margaret Qualley like is so good. She is one of those stars that we got to keep an eye on because like that thing keeps rising. Honestly, a very good Dennis Quaid in this movie.
Yes,
he's like very just he's grimy in this, which I really liked. So yeah, Substance number 10. If you haven't seen Substance yet, I do recommend. I think it's on Mubi. Which makes me sound like I'm making. Yeah, it's on Movie. It's also on Quizlet. It's on Roblox. So be sure to watch it somewhere. But yeah, that's my number 10.
It's a good pick.
My number 10, and no hate here, fellas. Is Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare.
Yes, that rocks.
Okay. I can understand that this movie is not like anything super special. I just think it's a great time, and I was really excited to go see it. I saw it alone. That was so fun.
Whoa! I saw it with you.
We did not. We did not.
We definitely saw this together.
No, we did not.
This released in April. How did we not see this together? If it released in April.
You saw it before me. I'm certain of it.
What? This is blowing my mind that I didn't see this with you.
Well, okay. Let's go back. Go to Ministry. When did you log it?
I logged it. Now I gotta find it. Hang on.
I've never been more confident of anything.
I'm now really worried I didn't see it with you. And I'm sad if I didn't see it with you. I logged it on Thursday, April 18th, 2024.
Watched April 27th, 2024.
Wow. Who did I see this with then? Because I was definitely not alone.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Yep. Stand corrected.
Yeah, I just thought it was really fun. And I know it probably doesn't belong in the top 10. Actually, I'm looking at the list. It's not top 10. But I just thought it was a lot of fun. Loved the cast. And yeah. Are we doing like a snake? Am I saying my number 9? Or are we just going?
Yeah, why not?
Okay. My number 9 is Bad Boys Ride or Die. And I'll
Dude,
tell
your
you
list
why.
is awesome. Your list is awesome so far.
I'll tell you why. I saw this with my mom in Fort Wayne, Indiana. She had not seen any of the Bad Boys before.
Bad Boys.
And we had such a blast. I think it's the first movie I've seen with my mom, maybe ever. And if not ever, then probably in at least 10 years. And we just like made a day out of it. Like we got lunch, we saw this movie, we like ran some errands, and it was just like, I don't know, it was a very fun day. And that's partly why it's so high on my list, but I also just was laughing out loud with my mom too. So yeah.
Dude, that rocks.
Yeah. Just a good time.
You have a type of movie, and I very much enjoy it. You love we need a whole list of Charles 3.5-star bangers, because that would be an incredible list. At number 9, I have Deadpool 3. I think Deadpool 3 was very, very good for what it was. I think it had an almost impossible task and impossible expectations to live up to, and I really do think it did. I'm very excited for kind of see what happens next. I do think that people kind of said it was like this one like great movie, and I think it is very good. But I think quality-wise, it's maybe not as good as the first. Definitely better than the second. But as like a personal fan favorite, I think it's my number 9. I really do enjoy it. And I think it partially was mainly due to Hugh Jackman. Like, I'm just very excited that he was so happy to return. And it worked really well for me. So yeah, number 9, Deadpool 3.
That's one I'm terrified to like revisit.
I did recently. I did like not too long ago, and I think I actually liked it more now. Because now that like I think it's hard with some of those. Like sometimes the excitement goes away, and you're like, oh, it's not as good. But sometimes when the excitement goes away, you're like, I can appreciate it more. Like I feel that way about Spider-Man: No Way Home.
I haven't seen that since I watched it in the theaters, and I saw it in theaters like 4 times.
Wow. Okay, maybe you should then.
I'm terrified
to see that.
Yeah. But at number 9 for me, I have this also has man in the title. It's A Different Man with Sebastian Stan. It is the movie that he won his Golden Globe for. I really do think this is Sebastian Stan's like best performance ever.
Different Man.
Really do like this movie. Yes. I think the cast is great. You have Adam Pearson, who I wish would have gotten a little bit more recognition from the Golden Globes or maybe the Oscars. We'll see. But I think this movie, it talks a lot about like who you are as a person, what makes you who you are, what makes you, being your true self and staying true to yourself, who you are, and not changing to be what other people want you. Like, I don't know. I think you could really dig deep into this movie. And I really like it for that reason. And then Sebastian Stan is just absolutely electric. And I hope he's in quite possibly every movie moving forward.
That'd be great. Just in everything.
Yeah, that'd be amazing.
The next Willem Dafoe.
That would be so awesome.
Fingers crossed.
I gotta find a way to watch this. There's 3 this year that really annoyed me that I couldn't find a way to watch.
Yeah, I think I was like, I saw some mutuals had really liked it. I want to say, yeah, Danny Schechter watched it and he really liked it. And some of the other people I follow liked it. So I was like, well, I feel like this is something I'll enjoy. And I just kind of got lucky and I rented it on Apple.
All right, it's playing on HBO. Is it on HBO? I can buy it on Amazon.
I personally, I would recommend it. I think it's very, very good.
I'm gonna try to get this.
It's very much a dark comedy. I don't know if we've talked a lot about like dark comedies on the pod.
Substance kind of, but that's about it.
Yeah, I guess The Substance, yeah. But I from what I've seen, most people are like, this is The Substance, but like for dudes,
Yeah.
It's very much the opposite side of
it's for the boys. Let's go.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So, yeah, really like that movie. And then at number 8, we have The Wild Robot.
Oh, which I think will not be the last time it shows up on our lists.
It will not be. This movie.
You were a little late to the game on that.
I was, unfortunately, and I was quite possibly the biggest hater for this movie because I saw the trailer. I thought it was just corny as hell. And then, I don't know. It was just one
Roz
night.
made you
I was
fall in
like,
love.
I need to watch it. And I think the animals are great. I don't know. All aside, like, it hit me emotionally, and I think for like when an animated movie like kind of gives me that emotional attachment, when movies give me this emotional attachment, it's so hard for me not to just like latch onto them. So
Yeah.
I really do love this movie, and I quite possibly recommended it to several people I think that would like this movie, which when I start recommending movies to people, I feel like that's when like I really, really like it. So yeah, number 8, The Wild Robot.
Like a better man, which I'm very excited to see. At my number 8, I have We Live in Time. This was a movie this year that I think, just kind of like you talk about The Wild Robot, really was emotionally connecting with me. I did tear up during this. I'm a man, I'll admit it. And I think that this is two of the better performances of this year, especially Florence Pugh, who I think, listen, Florence Pugh and Glenn Powell are like my dudes, but she's so good here. Like and Andrew Garfield is so good here. And I do love like these slice of life movies where it is just, a 5-year, 6-year span, but like you learn so much about these people over time. It almost felt like a play where like you're just like watching it through like a stage play, and I just really loved it. So We Live in Time, number 8.
Nice.
Chuck, give us something good. Give us something good. Not emotional. Come on.
My number 8 is Lord of the Rings, War of Rohirrim.
No way.
Nice. That's a good pick.
No.
Oh. I didn't see a lot of these movies you guys are talking about, which I am growing a little regretful. So if I do end up watching them and they take over some spots, you'll be the first to know, both of you. But as of now, War of Rohirrim is number 8. Look, I think I'm biased. I'm a Lord of the Rings guy at heart. So, of course, it's going to be in my top 10. We just talked about it like 3 weeks ago, or maybe like 4 weeks ago. So I'm not going to get into it, but I just had a very good time in the theater. Enjoyed it a lot. So, and then number 7 is Deadpool Wolverine.
Nice.
I will say, I have rewatched it, and I don't think I'll rewatch it again for a very long time because kind of like what you were talking about, Jack, it is losing its kind of, I don't know, what's special about it is kind of going away from me every time I rewatch it. But I think it's still carried, like it's this high in my list because of how awesome the theater experience was. It was up there with No Way Home. It was up there with Avengers, Endgame. Like I just thought it was so fun to watch in theaters and really cool to be in like a huge packed theater and hearing everyone else's reactions. So for those reasons, it's pretty high on my list.
Nice. At my number 7 is kind of my version of a Wild Robot. Like Jack said, I was a big hater on this, and then I went and became indoctrinated into the church of Wicked. Wicked, I think, was very, very good. I still am not high on it as everyone else, but it was just a great time. Like Wicked was so fun. I think the performances were great. I still think the movie doesn't look great visually, but I'm excited for Wicked Part 2, and I don't know, it really worked for me. So yeah, Wicked, number 7.
I'm happy to hear that Wicked will. I mean that officially just puts the stamp on that'll be on everyone's list.
Yeah, that was my one I thought would be on everyone's. Deadpool I thought was my one to be on everyone's, and then Dune is I think my one to be on everyone's. But I think besides that, so far we have nothing the same except for Deadpool.
Wait, so you're telling me you don't have Mystery of Ungentlemanly Warfare in your top 5?
It's at my number 1 actually. Until you see it.
All right. At number 7, I have Challengers, which I did not get to talk to you guys about.
Mm-hmm.
I think I watched this movie before I joined the podcast, and then I just recently watched it this past week. But I think it really did solidify for me. I think it just establishes itself as I played tennis in high school. not to say that I'm like anything
Was it similar to this
great
for you?
Oh, dude, that's like every high school kid like tennis experience. Like, it's just there's a woman having like power moves on every single. No, I'm joking. But
hey, high school tennis gets a little intense apparently.
The score is just electric. I know this is gonna like the score either like brings you in or it takes you out for most people. And I think watching it at home kind of solidified that I really do like this movie. Not my top 5, but I still really do like it. Zendaya is just like all time, like awesome in this movie. And then really like Josh O'Connor. Josh O'Connor in this movie is, I don't know. I'm excited for Wake Up Dead Man because I want to see more of him like as soon as possible. And then number 6, I have We Live in Time.
Yeah.
So,
whoa.
Just echoing what Hunter said. Andrew Garfield and Florence Pugh, just so good. Again, everyone I saw it with was just like tearing up or crying by the end of this movie. Very powerful storytelling but then the two leads here, it was going to be impossible for it not to succeed. I think unless the script was a dumpster fire, I think that it would have. It was amazing. I really liked it. It's one I wish I could have seen again in theaters, but just with being where I am, it had limited show times, especially just in Bloomington. I think it was here for like 2 weeks maybe, but that was a movie where I saw it and it was just full. I mean, holy cow. I sat down like 30 minutes before and people were just like, had nowhere to sit. They had to sit in the front row. Like it was just packed out. So that was a really, I'm not going to say fun theater experience, but it was nice knowing that a lot of other people had love for this movie and really wanted to see it too.
Dude, it was so good. Chuck, have you seen this yet?
No, it came out
I recommend
while I was back home, and so I just like never got around to seeing it.
If you find time, I do recommend. It's probably on Grizzlebox or something, so you can watch it. All right, my number 6 is a recent addition to the list, and that is Nosferatu. I thought Nosferatu was quite good. One of those again that leaves you like thinking about it a couple days after you've seen it. I really enjoyed this movie, and I think it's just one of the more beautiful movies of the year. And my sweet prince Nicholas Hoult, what a king, gave an awesome performance here. So yeah, Nosferatu. I mean, not a whole. We talked about it like 2 weeks ago, so like there's not a whole lot extra to talk about from what we did. But Nosferatu, Robert Eggers, sir, I will be set for whatever you do next. So as if I already was, but like once again, reiterated, you're good with me. So yeah, Nosferatu number 6. Charles,
Sweet.
give us the Beekeeper, baby.
I wish.
You're right. It's later. It's later on the list.
Yeah, it's later. It's later. My number 6 is Monkey Man.
Oh.
Yeah, it has moved down a lot of spots. The Monkey Man stock has been going down. I will admit it was my number 1 for a while, and then I kind of came to my senses on. Well, actually, I'm not going to spoil anything here, but let's just say it's been going down. But I did really enjoy it. This is one we saw together, Hunter.
Yes, we did.
And I left the theater a lot higher on it than you did.
Yes.
I don't know why I liked it so much. I just thought it was so captivating. Maybe it's the fighting. Maybe it was like the storytelling. I don't know. I just thought it was a very good time. Is it one that's going to like, in like 5 years, are people going to be talking about Monkey Man? Definitely not. That being said, I really enjoyed it. And I will watch it again at some point. And I'm excited for that day.
Nice.
And then my number 5 is Conclave.
Yes.
I know I said this is also one that I kind of came to my senses on past week or two. Same with Secret Life of Walter Mitty. I'm higher on that than I was last week for whatever reason. I just I don't know. But I think you can put Ralph Fiennes in anything, on any screen, and I will watch it and have a good time. And I think he is probably one of my favorite actors. And I just think this. I don't know. I just thought this was a very interesting story, and it was new, and it was very well told and well done. So, yeah.
I think it leaves you with a lot to think about too. Like it's not just one where you sit there and you watch it like, man, that was fun, but like you leave the theater and you're like still thinking about it, and you're like, there's stuff. I don't know. At least that's how I was with it.
No, I'm with you.
Yeah.
All right, my number 5 is Civil War. No, I'm just kidding.
You need to get a smile out of me, Hunter.
I know.
You just got fury.
You knew. No, my number 5 is The Fall Guy. I think this movie, quality-wise, is lower on my list, but I loved this movie. It was so fun. Exactly what I wanted from it. I wish it's better at the box office. I love these like inside Hollywood movies where it's like a movie about a movie. Just so good. Also, continues the streak of Aaron Taylor Johnson just proving he's a great actor, and then Craven just kind of screwed him up. But oh man, I loved it. I've seen it 3 times, I think, this year already. Like it's so I watched probably again in a couple weeks. Like it's so I really, really love it. I think it's the funniest movie of the year, even over Deadpool. I do think it's the funniest movie of the year. So yeah, that's my number 5, The Fall Guy.
And Taylor Johnson redeemed himself with Nosferatu, though.
He did. He was up really high and then kind of came back down with Craven, and then back. He's back.
Yeah.
Damn, he did a lot this year.
He is a working man. At number 5, I also have Conclave. Really do like this movie.
Really?
Ralph Fiennes is just awesome. Stanley Tucci is great.
The Tooch Man.
I think this is one of the better looking movies of this year too. I think it just watching this movie play out is just very aesthetically pleasing.
All right, now that we all have it though, do you guys like the ending?
I did. I thought it was going to go a different direction, but I think it made me think. But when I thought about it and I sat there for a second, I was like, you know what? Actually, I do like that.
Okay.
It wasn't what I expected.
Yeah.
I
just think the ending kind of, that was my issue with it. I think it was like going on such a path, and the path took a very big deviation. That threw me off a little bit. I didn't mind the ending. I think that lowered my score overall, just because I was like, all right, it's been such a well written, like everything kind of coming with a nice little bow at the end, and then this kind of just like tossed on. So
I feel like if you guys like this, I feel like Silence would be up your alley.
Dude, it's been on my list forever.
The Martin Scorsese movie. It's got Andrew Garfield, Adam Driver, Liam Neeson. Great cast. Very, very well done. Honestly, I don't know if it's like my favorite Scorsese movie, but I think it's his best movie.
Well, yeah, that's my watch list.
But I think it's a good movie. But like, if you kind of like the contemplation with like what's going on with like the Catholic Church and stuff like that, I think this movie is very.
I think that one's on Tubi, so you can watch that there.
I think that is a little bit slower though. I think Conclave is a little bit more kind of like if you were to think Conclave was a little slow, like Silence is a little bit of a slow burn.
Yeah.
But it is a good movie. Gives you a lot to think about.
Yeah. Actually, no, I'm sorry. It's on Quibi. Sorry. It's on Quibi.
So at number 4, I have Wicked.
No one mourns the wicked.
Just electric. And honestly, I think the more I watch this, the less problems I have with it. I think when I initially first watched it, yeah, sure, there are a couple, scenes where I wish I could see the main characters more clearly. Specifically, the scene with Jonathan Bailey dancing in the library. I mean, that for obvious reasons, like you just want to see
dancing through life.
But I think I watched it again. Oh,
that was good.
My gosh.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Jonathan, are you in the room with us?
Yeah. Mr. Bailey, how are you?
Guys.
Oh my gosh. Oh. Yeah, but number 4, the more I watch this, the less problems I have with it. I think if I watch this, 2 more times, this could easily be a 5-star for me. But 4.5 stars for now. Great movie.
Great movie. All right. My number 4 is The Bike Riders. I'm much higher on this than I think you guys are for The Bike Riders. I really enjoyed this movie. I was like fully in on it. I loved. This is another movie that from today we talked about, like the dirtiest looking people ever are just like in this movie. I think that Austin Butler. I think this is Austin Butler's third best performance. I will still think. I think he's better than Dune and Elvis, but like he is very good here. And I'm also of the opinion that we need more Boyd Holbrook in like movies. Like he was so good in Complete Unknown as Johnny Cash. I think he was great here. So yeah, and also Tom Hardy Cinematic Universe of saying funny voices. But I really enjoyed this one. So give that 4 stars, and it's my number 4 of the year.
I was told that I look like Tom Hardy.
Really?
It's a compliment.
By my
like
barber.
Let me look up a young Tom Hardy. I think
It's a compliment.
He was a model. Can you do like the model face real fast? Let me see. Oh, all right. Yeah.
Are we sure that's not Flynn Rider?
Yeah.
They got my nose wrong.
What a handsome gentleman he was.
Anyway, back to the top 10. My number 4 is Nora.
Wow.
Yeah. I saw that. So my theater experience was a little strange. I saw it with Maggie.
Oh.
Which was, and neither of us knew what the movie was about.
That's a good blind watch.
And since you both have seen it, the first 5 minutes, thrown right into it.
Yeah. They don't hold up.
What?
And so
Dancing
Maggie and I were kind of just like, we're just like, but I do think it was just like a phenomenal performance by Mikey Madison. I thought so. What I'm starting to realize about my movies is a lot of them were like I didn't predict, like they were kind of hard to predict. And I feel like in a rom-com, usually it ends happily. This one went a different direction. I thought it worked really well, and I thought it made the story a lot more interesting. Maybe that's just me though. But I did have a very good time, even though it was slightly uncomfortable at times with the person I was sitting next to.
I'm thinking of you in the theater watching Bad Boys 4, and you're like, I didn't predict you'd have a panic attack.
Yeah, but my number 3 is The Wild Robot. And I was very close to giving this 5 stars, but I didn't. I've talked in depth about The Wild Robot when it first came out. I think we did like a review on it, so I'm not going to get into details, but like I teared up watching this. I thought it was visually probably the most beautiful animated movie I've ever seen. Wow. At least in recent memory. Yeah, I just kind of like Jack. I expected it to be a little corny. I was bought in by the animation. Like when I saw the trailer, I was like, I gotta see this because I was getting chills watching it. But I thought the story was so good, and I think they are coming out with sequels because it's like a trilogy book series.
Yeah.
And so I'm excited for that. But that's my number 3.
Nice.
All the animals ate each other in number 2.
God,
that would be a crazy twist. It'd be on Charlie's list though because he didn't see it coming, so we're good.
No.
All right. My number 3 is Twisters. Twisters was the summer blockbuster that was my favorite of all summer blockbusters. I think it was very old school in its approach. Like if you would have told me this came out in like 94 or like, something like it was very old school in the way it felt of a summer blockbuster. I think it was charming. I think it was fun. It had Anthony Ramos, which automatically made it better. I really just enjoyed it. And I think for me too, we don't often get a lot of stories of like, not just middle America, but like that specific southern part of America. And if we do, it's usually a lot of like retrospective on like what it means to be an American, where this was just like a story set there. And I think it worked really well. And it like played in the culture of it all. It wasn't just a story in LA or New York like we always get, but like I just really, really enjoyed it. So yeah, Twisters is my number 3.
Hunter, I don't think we ever talked about it. Remember when we made that box office bet?
Oh yeah, we did. What was the punishment for that?
I don't think we had a punishment.
I thought we did. Just a gentleman's agreement.
We'll have to go back. I
see what it
believe I
was.
won.
I think I said 700. So I think you
bet
did.
said 600, and I said 300 or 400.
Yeah, you were right. It was 370. So good
It was
call.
at 370.
Good call. Good call.
Wow.
I'll go back to see if there's a punishment.
Yeah. Also, right now, stop the
worry.
count. Den of Thieves 2 is the highest grossing movie of 2025. So stop the count. Because that rocks. Or is it on the year? Let's see. I'll try to find it. Twisters. Twisters number 15, highest grossing of the year.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. Can I guess your number 3, Jack? I feel confident in this.
Yeah.
I think it's Furiosa.
You think it's Furiosa?
I do. I think it's Furiosa.
Okay, so I think the 2 and 3 here could almost be interchangeable at this point.
Come on.
But right now at 3, I have Sing Sing.
Oh, I thought that'd be your 1. I was so convinced that was your 1.
I know. I really do love this movie. I think if I had a chance to see it more, I think it easily could pop up into higher in this ranking. I love this movie, and I think I was just like, I feel like this is a movie that I really do enjoy, and I think like promoting it and telling people that like this is a great movie, and that when it comes out, like people should be prepared to go see it. I think that's been like one of the more exciting things for me, like the chance that I was just in the right place at the right time when this was playing in a theater, and then they basically like took it out. So it's like someone asked me about movies for 2024. I'm just like, you have to see Sing Sing. It is amazing. Coma Domingo is phenomenal. The entire cast like is so good, and the message. And I feel like it's very like educating to watch this movie. And I'm so excited to go see it again. So as soon as tickets come out for this movie, fingers crossed that it shows up to the Bloomington AMC, because I really want to see this again. Right now I have it at a 4.5. I think it could easily be a 5-star if I watch it again. But really good movie. I'm so excited for you guys to watch it. It should be out in a week.
I hope so. I looked, and like the closest theater is about 45 minutes away. So maybe I'll make that trek.
Dang, man.
Maybe I'll make that trek for you.
See it. I'll probably get my tickets today, honestly.
Really good. Cannot recommend it enough. Do I do number 2 as well? My bad.
Yeah, number 2.
And then number 2, I have Furiosa.
Dang.
This movie's so good. This movie's awesome. Just everything. I watched Mad Max, and I really enjoyed it. I really liked it. I liked the world building. I liked the characters. I think they all the chemistry together. Like Tom Hardy is just electric, and he has maybe 10 lines the entire movie. And Morton Joe, quite possibly like just insane character. And I think the lore behind Mad Max, and the thing I felt like was just missing was just I just maybe wanted a little bit of a background. I wanted to know what was going on prior to this, and I think it gave that to me, and I think it makes Fury Road that much better. Yeah, Chris Hemsworth, this is his best performance by far. Anya Taylor-Joy is, for me personally, this is her best performance. It looks great. I've just gotten more fond of this movie as time has gone on. When I saw it in theaters, I really liked it, and I wish I would have gone back and watched it more.
No, I'm Furiosa. It was quite good. I enjoyed it quite a bit. At my number 2, I have Hitman. Listen, it's no secret on this podcast I'm a Glenn Powell guy, but this still was so good. I think this was one of the better comedies in the last 3-4 years. And the performance here is great. I do think it's one of those, like, I almost want to say like Sunday morning, like cereal movies where you can just put it on and you have a bowl of cereal and you're like, I'm having the best time.
That's a great shout.
Yeah.
That's a great shout. Wow.
And I just feel like it was just so fun. Like this is one of those where like you could watch it and then the next day someone is also watching it and you're like, yeah, I'd sit down and watch this again with you. Like it's just one of those. And I really, really liked it. I'm probably gonna watch it again relatively soon. And yeah, Hitman, great time. So yeah, my number 2.
Noise.
Noise.
All right, fellas.
Is it time? Is it time?
My top 2. You probably know what both of them are. I mean,
I know number 1. I know 1.
My number 2 is Dune Part 2.
I do not know number 1 then. My bad.
I do.
Hunter, yeah, you do.
I probably do when you say it, but I thought
Jack definitely knows. Hunter, you know as well. Dune Part 2.
4.
No, it's actually Red 1.
Hellum
Look,
Drift, baby.
I feel like I don't really need to talk about Dune Part 2. I think it's kind of like understood that it was just probably objectively the most impressive movie of this year.
Yeah.
I think we can agree on that.
Yeah.
So I won't go into depth. I was a hater at first. Hand up. I was a hater. I think now that I've had time to let the book and the movie like kind of digest. What are you smiling about, Hunter?
It's just like the book of it all. It's just like a very fun running joke for us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think I could revisit both of them. I would probably enjoy the book just as much as I did, and I'd probably enjoy the movie a lot more, which is why it's number 2. And then number 1, Wicked. It's my only 5-star. God, that's sweet, Jack. God. I should have gotten one. I should have got that.
I should have got that.
Give me that.
I really should have gotten that. It's my only 5-star of the year. And
that's crazy.
Yeah. I just thought it was incredible. And like the issues that you guys have expressed about it, like with the lighting and stuff like that, I didn't really have any issues with it. I don't think I was looking that closely, to be fair. But I think this was, with like removing Deadpool Wolverine, this was probably my favorite theater experience. I went twice to see it. And yeah, I just loved it so much. I'm starting to, I think I said this last week or maybe the week before. I'm realizing that I'm definitely a musical guy. Like it's a lot easier it's easy to impress me when I'm watching a musical than like a regular movie.
Yeah.
I don't know why that is, but like when I watch Sound of Music, Singing in the Rain, Wicked, I'm just a lot more impressed by what they're able to do than in like regular movies without music.
I mean, you also just did name 3 very good movies.
Yeah.
No, I'm with you though. I feel that way about like kind of second tier action movies. That's me. I'm just like, you guys, you're just shooting people up. That's awesome. That's how I feel. So
I get really frustrated when people are like, "Oh, I'm not a musical person." Like 2 of my roommates here aren't. They like I've tried to get them to watch musicals, and they're like, "I just can't." I'm like, "But they're so good."
They're so good.
Did you do any like theater or anything in high school, Charlie?
I always wanted to do choir.
You wanted to do?
Yeah, but I was in the STEM learning community because I thought I wanted to be an engineer, and it took up all my like elective spaces. So I didn't do choir and I couldn't do wood shop. Those are the 2 I wanted to do.
That's sick. Because I feel like most people that like really like musicals are like people that were in like theater or something. But like even for me, it's like I didn't think I was like a big musical person, and then I felt like I started to watch more musicals with Caitlin, and then I was just like, "Well, I love musicals. Like
they're awesome."
I'm that way with rom-coms. I love rom-coms, and I think it took a long time to figure out that I like rom-coms.
Yeah, but I always wanted to join our like a cappella group in high school, and then I thought I think Hunter knew this. I thought about trying to do a cappella.
I told you to. I said you should have,
but I never did.
Should have done it.
Maybe we can do an a cappella episode.
Oh, there's an idea.
I really like The Working Man. Jason Statham was really good. All right. My number 1, I think to no surprise, is Dune Part 2. Which, Jack, I'm going to say was also your number one. All right, you want to talk about it together then?
Yeah.
Yeah, Dune Part 2 was incredible. Like, listen, it's known I'm not a Lord of the Rings guy. Said it many a time, and I'll say it many time again. This is my version of Lord of the Rings. Like, this is where I get it. When I get what you guys are, mainly Charles, but like you guys are saying about Lord of the Rings, I get it because of this. Like, I love Dune. Never gonna read it, but I love
it. I'm like genuinely upset that I didn't get to talk about this like as soon as it came out with you guys.
Yeah.
I think you would have been angry with my takes.
Yeah.
It's okay. I mean, I just remember the anticipation I felt for this movie. First movie I watched 2024 was Dune Part 1. I was like, I feel like first time I watched Dune Part 1, I watched it on my laptop in my room, and I was just like, that is not how these movies should be seen. Watched it on the biggest screen possible. Then I got to watch Dune Part 2. I felt my spirit ascend from my body and watch me as I was watching this movie. If I could give this movie 7 stars, 8 stars, 9 stars, I would. Like, this is the movie that, like, years from now, like, our kids are gonna be like, oh my gosh, you got to see Dune Part 2 in theaters, like, when it came out. That's so cool. So, I don't know. I think to be a part of that is awesome.
And it's like, you got to go to the re-releases to see that.
Yeah. And no doubt in my mind, maybe this is a hot take. I like, so far, Dune Part 1 and Dune Part 2, I like them so much more than I like the original Star Wars movies.
Agreed.
I mean, look, I get it. The original Star Wars movies, they laid the foundation, but like we said earlier, it's like there are multiple layers of this foundation. You know, you have a space odyssey, and then you just continually build up on this genre that is, you know, science fiction.
And I almost hate being that guy where like the other stuff affects the way that I watch Star Wars.
Sure.
But like it does. Like I can't lie and be like the stuff that I know is happening or like the other stuff doesn't affect my opinion of Star Wars. That's why Dune right now is so precious. And that's why I'm not going to watch Dune Prophecy, because I refuse to get indoctrinated with whatever that show is about.
Here's what I'm starting to, I don't know if I've talked to you guys about this. I think it might've been at work. The thing about sci-fi is you really have to buy into it. Like whatever the idea is that they're trying to, you know, tell in a sci-fi, if you don't buy in, it's a much harder viewing experience. And I think the problem with Star Wars that I have is I bought in when I was younger because I was like, oh, it's Star Wars, I have to buy in.
Yeah.
And every time I've gone back to rewatch it, I'm not as sold on the idea. And I think with a lot of sci-fi, it's kind of a slow moving story. Like it's told in a slow way. And Star Wars, it's a bit slower. And because I'm not as bought in, it's not as fun to watch.
I also think, and I'm going to do a comparison to Catan just so that Charles maybe can agree with me more on this. I think sci-fi is there's a lot of layers to it where like, if you're playing the base game of Catan, right? It's a pretty simple, but like complex game. But when you start adding in all the expansions and stuff, it gets way more complex. And so if you bring in a new player, you almost want to restart at like a base level and then they can get better and expand with it. Where Star Wars now is so big that like you can't go back. Like there's no going back to like the jump and like learning it from there. And I think it's hard to like get back on board because like even I watch all the stuff. Even I feel lost in like what is actually happening in Star Wars because there's so much information happening. We're like Dune. I get what's happening in Dune, or like even Lord of the Rings. Like I get what's happening in Lord of the Rings. There's not as much
with Dune. Hunter, if you remember, I wasn't bought in. Like I tried to watch the first one with you, and I couldn't. Like I wasn't bought in. I had to read the book, and then I was bought in. I understood like, okay, this is how the world works in Dune.
Yeah,
and after that, it was a lot more enjoyable. Like you really have to like sit down and buy into whatever the idea is.
Yeah.
Like if you go into 2001 Space Odyssey and expect just like a normal space story, and at the end when there's that little baby, you're going to be really pissed. Like you kind of have to buy into just like the unnatural and stuff like that.
No, I'm with you.
So, yeah, I don't know. I don't know how we got onto that. I guess Star Wars.
No, Star Wars. It gets us every time. All right. Do we want to run back through our lists so that Jack can make a good TikTok out of this, I guess, or a reel? All right. Why don't we just do Jack, myself, then Charles? Jack, why don't you start off? Do 10 through 1.
All right. So for my list, I went a little off topic because we were looking at the Dune stuff. But for my favorite movies of 2020, or for my favorite movies of 2024, at number 10, I have Better Man, the biopic on Robbie Williams. Number 9, I have A Different Man starring Sebastian Stan. Number 8, I have The Wild Robot. Number 7, I have Challengers. Number 6, We Live in Time. Number 5, Conclave. Number 4, Wicked. Number 3, Sing Sing. Number 2, Furiosa, a Mad Max saga. And number 1, Doom Part 2.
All right. At my number 10, I have The Substance. At 9, Deadpool 3. 8, We Live in Time. 7, Wicked. 6, Nosferatu. 5, The Fall Guy. 4, The Bike Riders. 3, Twisters. 2, Hitman. And number 1, Dune Part 2.
At my number 10, I've got The Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare. Number 9, Bad Boys Ride or Die. 8, Lord of the Rings War of Rohirrim. 7, Deadpool Wolverine. 6, Monkey Man. 5, Conclave. 4, Anora. 3, The Wild Robot. 2, Dune Part 2. And 1, Wicked.
Nice. Listen. We were pretty good at the beginning when we said 3 was the magic number of how many we were gonna have it in the same.
Yeah, I'm pretty surprised.
So Jack and I had 3 of the same. Yep, 3 of the same. Charlie and I had 1, 2, 3 of the same. Charles and Jack had 4 of the same. No.
Oh.
Yeah, 4 of the same. 4 of the same. 4 of the same.
My biggest regret with Doom Part 2 is I should have just bought like 10 popcorn buckets.
Yeah, that's right. It's right there.
I only bought 1, and I feel like a fool.
A fool, I say.
Yeah.
I had a friend who's gonna get one for me, and I don't think he did.
Damn. Sorry.
Dude, they're selling for like $120 now.
Well, dude, now you gotta wonder what they're gonna do next. Like, what's the next thing they're gonna do?
The Tom Cruise
they have to go bigger.
The Tom Cruise head is the next big popcorn bucket.
It must be.
Mm-hmm.
It probably will be.
Yeah. Cool.
That rocks. Awesome. All right. Anything else from anybody? Questions, comments, concerns, conundrums?
Follow us on Instagram and TikTok.
Yeah, we're putting a lot more stuff
helpful.
out. Yeah, TikTok might be gone by the time we do a next podcast, but hey, it happens. If it is, we'll talk about it, I guess. But yeah. All right. I guess that's it. Next week we'll be talking. Actually, I'll talk a little bit better, man, next week. But we'll also be talking Wolfman. A lot of man-related things in the podcast recently.
Hitman,
Hitman, Wolfman, A Better Man. What was the other one?
Different Man.
Yeah. So yeah, a lot of man-related things.
Working Man.
Podcast. Yeah. So yeah, that's it. Wolfman next week. We'll see you then. Have a good week and enjoy the playoffs.